This is CBC Here and Now.
Courtesy stop is a little more refined and defined in that there is an actual stop.
The government has added some bus stops inside the controversial 1.6 kilometer rule.
But what will it cost to get more students on school buses?
She was so scared that she couldn't go to the bathroom at night. She was afraid to call out to me.
Not to tell their parents about what Momo is telling them to do. So that would make a child scared.
Talking about the Momo challenge.
Why schools are speaking to parents and students, even if the online phenomenon is deemed a hoax. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes.
And I'm Anthony Germain. It's been a controversial issue over the years, just who qualifies to ride a school bus in the province.
The government has looked at how much it would cost to let more school children on board, but any decision on a sweeping change to the rule is still a ways down the road. Here and Now's Rob Entel has the details.
A protest in Centreville to mark the beginning of the school year, over news that there will be a strict new interpretation of an old policy. No bus stops within 1.6 kilometers of the school. In September, after public pressure, the province changed its guidelines to allow one courtesy stop inside that zone.
The initial response that we're getting from that is that it is working.
The Education Department makes the policy decisions, and the English School District implements them.
We just try to be fair. We try to be consistent, and we try and accommodate consistent things across the board where we can. And when we find something out, if it seems unfair, we deal with it.
So far, more than 70 of those courtesy stops have been added inside 1.6 kilometers. That's where the focus is now, although the province has priced options of how much it would cost to let more kids ride the bus. Student transportation currently has a price tag of nearly $59 million a year. If the province decided to bus all kindergarten to grade 3 students, no matter where they live, it would add another $5 million or so on top of that. For K to 6, an extra $8 million. And dropping the 1.6 kilometer limit down to 1 kilometer would cost more than $3 million.
Now, these extra costs obviously would have to come from somewhere. And so what exactly would you have to cut? Does it mean less teachers in schools? Does it mean less programs in schools?
Work continues on case-by-case reviews of the bus routes. Any sweeping change to the 1.6 limit is still off in the distance.
What exactly does that mean? Does that mean that a child now that's living, 100 meters from school is going to have to be picked up? There's going to be extra buses put in place. So I'm not sure we fully understand the magnitude of what removing 1.6 kilometers really means.
Back in Centreville, courtesy stops were implemented. Greg Cutler was one of the parents who helped organize the protest last September. He spoke with us last year. Now, he says reaction has been mixed. Some parents are happy with having a courtesy stop added, while others feel more should be done. The 1.6 kilometer policy became a hot topic here at Confederation Building last year. The House of Assembly is set to reopen next week. Rob Antle, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the Momo challenge has schools in this province talking to parents and students. It's an online phenomenon allegedly targeting kids with disturbing photos and instructions to carry out some violent acts. It's now being considered a hoax. Still, as Here and Now's Meg Roberts reports, officials and parents say it's a good reminder to talk to your children about what's on the internet.
Movie, like with possible violence, it's not a pleasant image.
This is Momo. As Alicia Penny Harnham describes, the character's appearance clearly has the capability to scare young children. Children like her 11-year-old daughter, Willow, who allegedly saw an image of Momo while on YouTube.
She was so scared that she couldn't go to the bathroom at night. She was afraid to call out to me. And it had affected her for a few days, several days, or maybe even a week. And she was afraid to talk about it, because she thought she would get in trouble for seeing it.
The online phenomenon mainly involves kids. The rumor is through social media, kids are sent disturbing images and then often told to do things, usually violent and dangerous. If they don't comply, Momo apparently threatens to hurt them or their loved ones. Although there isn't strong evidence to support that the challenge actually exists, experts are saying it shouldn't be taken lightly. Anything that has the potential to frighten children in a safe space can be alarming. Terry Follett is with the RNC and RCMP's Integrated Internet Child Exploitation Unit. He says it's important for parents to be involved with kids' online activity.
Have like computers in high traffic areas in the homes. If kids have their computers in their bedrooms, keep their doors open so they can, if they're walking by, they can see what they're doing. Another tip is just for kids not to have headphones on because they could be masking the type of material that they're viewing online as well.
In an email to the CBC, the school board says it's encouraging schools to remind parents and students about engaging in safe online activity. YouTube says that they haven't recently come across any videos promoting the Momo challenge. Meg Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
How the weekend weather is shaping up. Starting with our weather on the way headlines, we're in for some sunshine tomorrow, which is some great news for sure, but the winds are going to stay fairly strong for parts of the island. Then on Sunday, we're looking at a bit of snow moving through, mostly for the southern part of the island and for the east. And then Monday night, a system coming through could bring some snow and then turning to rain. So we still have a wind warning in place for the eastern portion of the northern peninsula from St. Anthony down through Anglee. So winds there gusting up to 100 overnight tonight should start to ease by the morning. This is how it's going to play out on Saturday. Looking at mostly clear skies for the island and for Labrador. But then as we get into Sunday, we do have the system that's moving up. So it will bring a bit of snow to parts of the island. I'll get into all of those details a bit later.
At the Muskrat Falls inquiry today, the spotlight was on a company that's been in the news, and it was about SNC-Lavalin's clumsy handling of the management contract on that project. The controversial Quebec company won a contract in 2011 to manage the engineering, procurement, as well as the construction at the site. And today, the inquiry received a detailed look at how the company threatened the project's schedule early on. Here now's Jacob Barker reports.
We learned early on at the inquiry about SNC's responsibilities being scaled back. Today, a specialist in project purchasing told the inquiry why alarm bells were being set off in the early stages of the development.
They still weren't staffing up to the schedule that they needed. So anyway, I had to highlight that and bring it to their management. That you got to start finding resources because we're falling behind.
Even as employees were hired and started showing up, they weren't delivering the work properly, and there was inconsistency in the work being done by different teams on the various work packages.
They were starting to get some people, and there was no consistency in what those folks had to do. They were coming with what they did somewhere else, which just doesn't work on a project. You got to get yourself organized and set up for success.
Hussey says there were silos within the management team where people in charge of engineering were not communicating with those who were gathering resources for the project.
When we used to go to these status meetings, and I'd be sitting there with experience of doing this, and I asked the tough questions, they're all looking at me with blank faces. So it took us a bit of time to get that straightened out, whereby they understood what their roles were and that they had to work together in order to meet the schedule that we had.
Eventually, Nalcor switched the management strategy on the project and began putting its own people and other professionals it chose into key roles. Well, we will get a chance to hear from SNC-Lavalin officials later on in the inquiry, but for now things have wrapped up here in Labrador. Sessions will resume in St. John's in a couple of weeks from now. Jacob Barker, CBC News, Happy Valley Goose Bay.
And Muskrat Falls is one of the projects making up the government's climate change plan. It unveiled details today in Corner Brook. It's been in the works for 3 years and has some very ambitious goals. Here now's Colleen Connors was at the announcement and brings us more.
So climate change is real, regardless of what we see and what we experience one year to the next. It is happening.
The Environment Minister did not hold back. Speaking to a room filled with students and West Coast mayors, he laid out the province's plan to tackle greenhouse gas emissions and end climate change. not before asking for a little help from the man upstairs.
Once Muskrat Falls comes on stream, we'll be 98%. Our electricity will be 98% renewable energy.
Since 2016, government has been putting together a list of 50 tasks to save the environment, like the new NL carbon pricing program. But are these tasks attainable?
We know that some of it is ambitious. As I said, our targets we have not been successful in reaching our targets up to this point. But we're going to work very hard to try to close that gap. We've set an ambitious target for 2030, reducing from 10.8 metric tons to 6.9. So, you know, that's quite ambitious. And when we look at where our oil and gas industry is, for instance, we're promoting that, and rightly so, because we need that for the economy. So we have to find that balance.
That balance between environment and provincial profit looks quite different for some in this crowd.
But we can't protect our economy, particularly the oil and gas sector, forever. They are quite aware that climate change is real as well, and they are changing. And so I think they're anticipating that provinces and governments are taking action. So it is time to do it right now.
Jansen and others here believe the dozens of actions in the action plan can't be achieved by government alone.
Public education is a big piece. The public needs to get behind, and all the organizations need to pull together to make this happen.
The climate change plan includes plans to encourage the use of more electric cars, increase energy efficient houses and office buildings, and build climate resilient infrastructure. It all comes with a 5-year deadline. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
From provincial to national politics now, there are new job titles for 3 federal ministers today. It's all part of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's efforts to shuffle his cabinet to fill the vacancy that was created by Jody Wilson-Raybould's resignation during the SNC-Lavalin controversy. Are Lawrence Macaulay, who becomes Minister of Veterans Affairs and Associate Minister of National Defence. And there you see Marie-Claude Bibeau, who takes Macaulay's former job as Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food. And that was Marielle Monsef, the Minister for Women and Gender Equality, who takes on a second portfolio, International Development. Wilson-Raybould resigned as Minister of Veterans Affairs, and that was a position she was moved to replace Seamus O'Regan, in fact. That was in February, after first entering Trudeau's cabinet as Justice Minister back on February 12th.
Canadians with a criminal record for simple possession of marijuana are about to get a break. Ottawa says it will introduce legislation to grant pardons.
Individuals who have been previously convicted only for simple possession of cannabis should be allowed to participate in a fulsome way in their communities.
Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale says unlike other pardons, there will be no waiting period and no fee. Goodale says a criminal record can have an impact on careers and housing and even make it hard to volunteer. He says that's unfair since Canada legalized cannabis last October. About 500,000 Canadians have a record for pot possession. Goodale hopes to get the legislation passed before Ottawa's summer recess in late June. Well, back in this province, the RCMP has just released the details about an interesting rescue involving 2 budgie birds.
Now, back in December, this is a nice story, it has a serious side as well. The Bay St. George RCMP say 2 officers responded to a rollover crash along the Trans-Canada Highway near Crabs River. A man and a woman were taken from the scene for medical treatment, but the officers went back once they learned that the couple's budgie birds were trapped inside that vehicle.
Now, the RCMP says the officers crawled through a snowbank to get to the vehicle and got 2 birds and a very heavy bird cage out. They then realized that 2 10-pound dumbbells had actually gotten lodged in the cage during the rollover.
Quite the colors there. The birds and that damaged cage that Carol mentioned, they were placed in the back of the police cruiser, but then the budgies escaped. And they flew around and they got to the back of the cop car.
Interesting. Now, the RCMP says officers then used police tape to repair the cage and brought the birds back to their very grateful owners.
I want to see video of the cops actually getting them back in the cage. Anyhow.
They painted a very vivid picture of how it all went down in the release, for sure.
People and birds behind bars.
Yeah.
Well done.
And
they can't wait to get in there to renew their friendships that they've already made with athletes from other parts of the province and to compete, of course.
And are they ever ready to compete? Newfoundland and Labrador's Special Olympians are gathering in Gander for the 2019 Winter Games.
And for a shot at making it to the national competition. That story is up right after the weather.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism. 5,000 kilometers of groomed trails are waiting to be explored. Embrace winter today.
Well, the weekend's here. Obviously, people want to know about the weather to come, but some interesting facts about the weather that was.
Yeah, we're finally out of February.
Good riddance.
Yeah, goodbye February. But you know, if
cold.
February felt like it was a horrible month weather-wise, that's because it really was.
Oh, good.
Some interesting things I saw on Twitter today. Just have a look at this. A tweet from Rodney Barney at Environment Canada. This shows that this past February was the 4th windiest calendar month on record for St. John's. So that's out of all the months.
That's not surprising.
Number 4.
It was nasty.
It was nasty, and not only windy, but also very cold. The account YYT Records tweeted this graphic out today, and it shows that it was the 10th coldest February.
10th?
Yep, since records began. But this is interesting too. It hasn't been this cold since 1994. So that was the last time
Goes back a ways.
Yeah, this is since records began.
Felt
but
colder.
1994 was when it's kind of been
The average temperature is minus 6.4. It felt colder than that.
Yeah.
People in Labrador are saying, what are they complaining about? Minus 6.4.
I know, right?
It was colder.
The wind chill and
It was a damp minus 6.4.
Yeah, terrible month for sure. So things are looking up for the weekend for the most part. We do still have this wind warning in place for the Northern Peninsula east. So if you're in St. Anthony and Glebe, Roddickton, that area, it's going to be quite windy there tonight. That should start to ease by the morning. We do have some flurries tonight for coastal Labrador, but fortunately, things are finally starting to improve there, tapering off to some flurries. We have a few flurries on the west coast as well tonight. So we're looking at an overnight low of minus 10 for St. John's, but with that wind chill, going to feel more like minus 26. Could see some light early evening flurries, but the winds are still pretty strong coming in from the west, gusting up to 70 in the east, and also very windy along the northeast coast in the Twillingate area, gusts up to 80 tonight. So still quite blustery up there. Could see a few light flurries along the south coast, and for Corner Brook, the wind's easing up a bit there, and that cold wind chill of minus 22. So as we head into Labrador, about 2 to 4 centimeters expected to fall for the Makkovik, Hopedale area overnight tonight. So not much more. It's still pretty breezy. Gusts up to 70 coming in from the northwest along the coast there, and Labrador City looking at a very chilly overnight low at minus 23 and minus 34 with that wind chill, but the winds are staying fairly light there. So we get into Saturday. It's mostly a clearing trend on the island. Going to see lots of sunshine, which is great. Going to stay kind of windy though for some places. Looking at some flurries for the Happy Valley Goose Bay area and along the coast, but nothing major for sure. Wind chill of about minus 13 for the eastern portion of the island tomorrow, minus 4 as the high in St. John's. But the winds are going to stay strong for most of the day. It really won't be until Saturday night that things will finally start to ease. So we still have those westerly winds gusting up to 70 tomorrow. And as well for the northeast coast, going to stay fairly windy there, but lots of sunshine to enjoy. So if you can get out someplace sheltered, it'll be lovely. For the west coast, minus 17 for the wind chill for the Corner Brook area, but lots of sun and cloud for the west coast tomorrow, and up through the Straits. Going to stay fairly breezy there as well. Could see some flurries for the Marys Harbor area as well as Cartwright, and wind chill of minus 22 tomorrow. For the rest of Labrador, a few scattered flurries for Makkovik, but generally things are getting better. Labrador City, lots of sunshine, minus 14 as the highs. So we do have a little bit of a system coming through on Sunday. Going to bring some snow to the Avalon Peninsula, Burin Peninsula, and for parts of the east on the island. So I'll have a closer look at that a bit later. Anthony?
Thanks, Carol. It's almost competition time for some Special Olympians in this province. The 2019 Newfoundland and Labrador Special Olympics Winter Games resume this weekend in Grand Falls, Windsor. And so that means there's just enough time for one more last-minute practice. Here now's Garrett Barry went behind the scenes with the Gander Wings Club. Have a look.
My name is Craig Howard, and I'm going to the Winter Games for curling, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll win, and I'll do my best. I'm the voice. I'm the voice, and I shoot 2 rocks. I like playing. I like playing and like getting along with. I like getting along with the guys.
And they can't wait to get in there to renew their friendships that they've already made with athletes from other parts of the province, and to compete, of course. The social side of it is very important to them, but don't get me wrong, they love to win, and they're there to win.
I like bowling because you get to have fun, and it gets competitive, and I do.
So how do you think you're going to be feeling on Saturday when the competition starts?
Really excited, pumped up. Can't wait to beat people.
I really want to win.
Yeah.
The winners from these games have an opportunity to move on to the next Canadian Winter Games, which are being held in Thunder Bay, Ontario in February of next year. So this is really important to a lot of our more competitive. We have some athletes who are more adept at competition than others, and we've got lots of athletes in this club and all the clubs across the province who have potential to move on to the Winter Games next year.
Lived his life in spite of cancer. He refused to let cancer ever take over, so he was living beyond it.
Her husband's obituary last year inspired others to live a full life.
Next, we see how the Newfoundland man inspired his wife.
Welcome back. Well, death, dying, and grief, for most people, those are topics to be avoided.
Yeah, but one family has tackled them head on. As Shannon Churchill was dying of cancer, he encouraged people to live their best life because, as he said in his own obituary, life is short. The Newfoundland man died last year at the age of 44. He not only encouraged others to live a full life, he also inspired his wife. And in the years since Shannon died, Melissa Churchill has been ticking items off her own bucket list.
Grief is a process, it never goes away, but we have choices in life to be able to live and move forward for those we love and to make the most of our time that we have on earth. Giver was his last words said to me before he had died, so that has huge importance to me. My name is Melissa Churchill, and I'm looking to talk about my wonderful husband Shannon and what he meant to me, and also how I'm choosing to embrace life and to move forward in a way that allows me to live the rest of my days in a way that I know he would be very proud. I know I will never in my life know anyone else like Shannon ever again. He always said, you know, he lived his life in spite of cancer. He refused to let cancer ever take over, so he was living beyond it. Shannon had a list of things that he wanted to do in his life, and actually it ranged from things that were very simple to very slightly more grandiose things that he wanted to do in his life that were important to him. And he made those things happen, so much of it before he died.
So a bucket list?
Yeah, a bucket list, absolutely a bucket list. And it was something that I could do that would be a good thing for me and a good way to remember him always and the influence and impact that he had on my life. Joining a choir, learning French, taking via across our beautiful country, getting to Antarctica somehow, hiking to be Everest Base Camp, on getting up north. I'd love to see you north. So this is my handwritten list. Some things are checked off. Riding around the Nürburgring. So I went around the lap in a passenger taxi at a very, very, very high speed. My husband was a huge Formula One fan. He would arguably tell you that the Nürburgring was one of his favorite tracks, if not his favorite track. So his dream had always been to get there. And so I did that in his memory, and I spread some of his ashes there too. I, many years ago, cross-country skied, so I decided to embrace cross-country skiing and downhill skiing, which I have thoroughly enjoyed this year. We just need more regular snow for cross-country. Really and truly, it's so good and so refreshing to get outdoors. I think from a mental health perspective, it works wonders. A trip to the Grand Canyon with my sister-in-law, Shannon's sister Becky. Shannon had very much so wanted to get to the Grand Canyon but never got there. So we took some of his ashes to spread out there, and we also did a helicopter ride as well over the canyon, which was absolutely phenomenal and something that both of us will never forget. The day that Shannon was told that he had 2 to 3 months left to live, we were sitting there in the waiting room, myself and Shannon and his parents, and there was a lady across from us. She was very engaging, just very real, and it really struck me that the way that she was talking about it and her approach was similar to Shannon's in the sense that she was extremely accepting, and she was laughing and, you know, having a good time, and it stuck with me. A few months later, after Shannon had died, I saw an article online and whatnot of this woman and realized that it was Audrey Parker. And I read her story and read, you know, her how she was approaching cancer, how she was approaching terminal cancer. So I reached out to Audrey just on Facebook, on Messenger, and sent her a couple of really nice notes. She wrote back to me right away. I explained to her who my husband was and how he had written his own obituary as well. So we had a little bit of communication back and forth just online. And the last message I sent to Audrey was a couple of weeks before she had died, and I just wanted to let her know how much of an impact that she had had, again, on my life, because it was another, you know, another person who had such a similar mindset I felt to Shannon's, that they were just embracing the time that they had. This is my cat. We're cat people. Shannon and I both loved cats. After Shannon had passed away, about a month or so later, I had randomly been online and just saw a picture come up on a Facebook feed, and there was a cat up for adoption that had just arrived by the name of Deadpool. And Deadpool was a nickname heavily used for Shannon by our friends and our family. There were quite a few similarities with the character and Shannon. So I went and met Deadpool, and within a couple of minutes I told them there that I had to adopt this cat. She's pretty special, and so I brought her home a couple of days later, and she's just been, you know, at my side ever since. So I'm not a big sign person, although I do know that many of my friends and family would probably disagree with me on this point because they truly think that Shannon, may have brought me Deadpool. But if anything, at the very least, it's a wonderful, amazing coincidence, and one that I'm very grateful for. He gave me the greatest gift in my life, and that was basically how to live. The bucket list is a way of knowing, based on how he lived, that we all need to embrace our life. We have one shot at this life, so I looked at it as an opportunity for me, not knowing how much time I have on this earth, none of us do, to really take that opportunity and write some things down and see what I could do with that, and to actually make something special and personal to me that would bring me joy through the rest of my life, both for myself and for the memory of him too.
Wow.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, some wisdom there too about what to do with the time you've got left, plus a beautiful cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Turning something positive, turning something very heartbreaking and negative into something positive.
It was a great story. Some other news now. Statistics Canada released some disappointing numbers today. The country ended 2018 with the slowest economic growth in 2 years, down to 0.4%.
Consumer consumption is also down nearly a percentage point. Business investment dropped almost 11%, and residential investment fell nearly 15%.
Analysts say all of this is likely going to stop the Bank of Canada from raising interest rates next week. More news after the break. Welcome back to Here Now. 3 sisters in Nova Scotia and their mother are going to be in court next week, charged with defrauding the government of more than $3 million. They're accused of an elaborate scheme to obtain HST refunds that they were not entitled to. And part of their inspiration appears to come from a television sitcom. Richard Cuthbertson has that story.
Here at the Canada Revenue Agency office in Halifax is where the investigation started into what on paper is the biggest Cape Breton family business empire you've never heard of. And the allegations are all detailed here in 92 pages of court records. But the story really starts here. At this former restaurant, this home in nearby North Sydney, and a local farm. It's from these locations and one more in Kentville that the CRA says Nadia Saker, Angela McDonald, Georgette Young, and their mother, Lydia Saker, claim to have done $56 million in sales over 4 years. Now, the allegations haven't been tested in court, but here is some of what the CRA says the companies claimed. 54,000 cookbook sales in 6 months. Here's one of the cookbooks by one of the sisters, Angela, with recipes for things like sautéed vegetables. And there's more. Hundreds of children's fur coats that went for $1,000 a piece. A wig-making company that did $1.4 million in sales. Even more from a catering company. And the list goes on. The problem is, according to the CRA, these businesses had no employees. In some cases, they didn't even have bank accounts. The CRA says the sales and, crucially here, the expenses claimed by the companies were almost all fake, a part of a scheme to seek $3.6 million in illegal tax refunds from the federal government. Businesses report how much sales tax they take in, but can also get credit for sales tax they pay out for expenses. In some cases, companies can legitimately claim HST tax credits that outstrip what they collect, entitling them to money from the government. But
the CRA you would expect them to test the return, right, to see if the return is legitimate.
And that's what happened here. But in many cases, auditors could find no trace of the outside companies the family had purported to do business with. One of these was even called Vandalie Industries. That ring a bell?
Did anybody call here asking for Vandalie Industries? No, what happened to you?
Yes, a CRA investigator even made the connection to the fictitious company featured in the sitcom Seinfeld. CBC News could not reach Georgette Young, Angela McDonald, Nadia Saker, or Lydia Saker for comment. The CRA says it's seen a rise in recent years in what it calls abusive GST schemes. So much so that in 2016 it launched a crackdown deploying sophisticated software to flag worrisome files for audit. And since then, the agency says it's managed to prevent $400 million in unwarranted tax refunds. Richard Cuthbertson, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, turning now to international news, Pakistan has freed an Indian fighter pilot. He was seized after his plane was shot down in a part of Kashmir controlled by Pakistan. The pilot was turned over to Indian officials at the border crossing. Relations between both nations have been tense all week after Indian aircraft crossed into Pakistani airspace on Tuesday. Pakistan retaliated by shooting down 2 aircraft and capturing the pilot the next day. Both India and Pakistan claim all of Kashmir, but each controls only parts of it. The uneasy neighbors have fought 3 wars related to the region.
Well, a mother in Toronto has a lot of questions after her 4-year-old daughter left school and walked all the way home by herself. The little girl was shaken up by this, but she says she's okay. Well, now the school board says it's making some changes. Talia Ricci reports.
When Sukinder Kepper was putting her toddler down for an afternoon nap and heard a knock at the door, she was not expecting this.
I didn't know who it would be at that time of day. I opened it and it was my daughter. She's 4 years old. And I remember I just said, "What are you doing here? How did you get here? Who brought you home?" I had a lot of questions. And she said that she came by herself.
On Google Maps, it says it's about an 8-minute walk, but for a 4-year-old, it would likely take a few more minutes than that. The mother says her daughter came out one of these back doors, and when she couldn't get back in, she started to walk home. Kepper says this happened after lunch attendance. That day, it was about -5. Her daughter was wearing her boots and coat. She called the school to tell them what happened and says they had no idea.
So at least 40 minutes had passed. No one had noticed she was missing.
The girl started junior kindergarten back in September, and she has been doing that walk home supervised since then. But still, the mother says there's parts of this walk she would never want the 4-year-old to do alone, like at this point when she has to walk along this slippery bridge that goes over a ravine.
There's another path that leads to the woods. You know, what if she had gone distracted, went into the woods, or, you know, fallen? Or there's people out there, you know.
Obviously, this shouldn't have happened.
The Toronto District School Board is sending a letter home to the parents about the incident and making immediate changes.
We have already installed alarms on the kindergarten doors, so when one of those doors opens, an alarm sounds and you know that someone is coming or going from that door. Both the teacher and the designated early childhood educator were supply. In moving forward, we're going to make sure that both of them are not supply teachers.
Just behind those trees right there.
The mother doesn't think it will happen again, but sending her daughter to school since this happened hasn't been the same.
I've been peeking out the window and seeing if I can see her, which I'm sure she's going to be safe, I guess.
Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada has decided to formally start the extradition process against Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou. She was arrested nearly 3 months ago in Vancouver. The Department of Justice says it has sufficient evidence to have the case put before an extradition judge. Meng's arrest has led to a frosting of relations between Canada and China, and today China's foreign ministry seized the chance to question the state of judicial independence in Canada. It's pointing at Justin Trudeau's alleged meddling in the SNC-Lavalin affair. The Prime Minister has said his government could not intervene in Meng's case because Canada has an independent justice system. Oh, any idea what these are?
Looks like a picture, but not from your usual weather picture.
No, we'll fill you in. Have the answer coming up.
Kind of pretty.
This weather update is brought to you by Beltone, helping the world hear better.
You mentioned how windy last month was, and wind chill was a huge factor for a lot of February.
Oh yeah, it's been super cold, and the wind chill right now still very cold for pretty much everyone. Let's have a look there at the wind chill. -15 right now in St. John's, -17 in Port aux Basques, St. Anthony -23, and Makkovik -25. So yeah, it feels bitterly cold out there. And quite windy if you're on the northern peninsula, on the eastern portion. We have that wind warning in effect for tonight. Should start to ease by the morning. And then tomorrow, this is what we're looking at for the island. Lots of sunshine to enjoy. Those winds are going to stay strong along the northeast coast, and for the east, westerly wind gusting up to 70, but mostly sun and cloud for the day tomorrow. -4 is the high in St. John's, -3 in Marystown. Could see a flurry or two tomorrow, but very, very light. Not much to worry about. For the west coast, winds kind of gusty, not too bad though, gusting up to 50, and St. Anthony looking at a high of -6 tomorrow. So cloudy skies coming for Nain tomorrow, -12 as the high. Chances some flurries for the Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Cartwright area tomorrow, and Lab City looking at lots of sunshine and light winds. So looking like it's going to be a very crisp day there tomorrow. So Saturday night into Sunday, things start to get a little bit messy if you're along the south coast and in the east. You can see the system that's going to quickly be passing through. It's not going to last very long at all, really kind of starting on Sunday morning, and then by the time we get to 9 o'clock on Sunday night, it's saying goodbye. But it does look like we could see some snow. There's a little bit of disagreement on the amounts. Could see between 5 and 10 centimeters of snow for the St. John's area and the Burin Peninsula. Looking at highs of -4 in St. John's. Corner Brook could see a light dusting of that snow as well. On the fringe of that system, looking at about 2 to 4 centimeters, so certainly nothing major at all. For Labrador, looking mostly clear, a mixture of sun and cloud, -13 as the high in Lab City on Sunday. So that's one system that we have to worry about on Sunday. Then as we push through into the work week, there's another one coming. So still a lot of disagreement about exactly how this is going to play out, but let's have a look at the future tracker and just see what it says right now. So right now it's looking like Monday evening, some snow pushing through the island and through Labrador, and then we're seeing this change over to ice pellets and then to rain. So Monday overnight into Tuesday, that's going to turn to some rain for the east, and looking at some snow for Labrador, and continuing on into Tuesday overnight. So that snow will persist in Labrador, but then we're clearing off on the island. So this is the picture for the east for the next 5 days. That's snow to rain there. Temperatures bumping up to about 2 degrees, so at least we'll get a little bit of a reprieve from all the cold temperatures. For Tuesdays, for Central, very similar situation set up there for the West Coast. Looking at some snow persisting into the work week next week, a high of 0 on Tuesday. For Eastern Labrador, bit of sun coming on Wednesday, those temperatures staying on the cool side, and a mix of sun and cloud coming for Western Labrador. And that's your forecast.
Okay, staying with the weather, just not ours. Low temperatures on the other side of the country are creating a pretty cool effect. Now, Ashley Brawweiler, our meteorologist, she's back next week, so that'll liberate Carolyn. She has shown you some local examples of what you're about to see. It's a rare phenomenon that looks similar to the Northern Lights, but it's not the Northern Lights. CBC meteorologist Joanna Wagstaff explains what it is and how it happens.
Waves of Arctic air across Western Canada has meant dangerously cold wind chills, problems on the roads, and burst water pipes. But it's also created ideal conditions for strange columns of light that have been illuminating the icy night sky. And some lucky photographers have captured this strange phenomenon called light pillars, not to be confused with the extraterrestrial. Well, light pillars are not rare. Few people actually get to see them because they often don't form until the middle of the night when people are sleeping. The optical phenomenon appear to be reaching up from Earth, and they materialize when either natural or artificial light bounces off ice crystals that are suspended low in the atmosphere. These lights tend to take on the color of the light source, even street lights, and can be white, purple, pink, but sometimes blue, orange, and yellow. And the higher the ice crystals are in the atmosphere, the taller the pillars. When the crystals are very high or the light sources are close, the pillars seem to be radiating from overhead. For ice crystals to form, the conditions need to be extremely calm and extremely cold and without wind. And for these light pillars to show, the ice crystals have to be close to the ground. Typically, the crystals are small enough to remain suspended in the air and only form when temperatures are below -17 degrees Celsius. And the frigid temperatures and Arctic high pressure systems have certainly helped create these perfect conditions.
Welcome back. Well, nothing was going to keep these little guys from their game.
No, not even a daunting giant step. Check this out. The drop to the rink was scary for these 7- and 8-year-old hockey players. Most of them are about 4 feet tall, and the step down was about half of that.
Oh my goodness.
So they're one after the other. Oh my goodness.
The coach of the Nova Scotia team offered an arm to help, but the boys refused, telling him basically, "We got this."
So he let the dominoes begin. Some fared a little better than others. Height obviously a factor.
At the end, the kids were thrilled to have survived the ordeal and now call themselves the Beasts. To top it all off, the video is now a viral.
Oh, yeah, literally a hit. Ba-doom-ba. It's Friday night.
Yes, time to see you celebrating.
Anniversary greetings to Shirley and Harry Ledrew of Lawrencetown, who are celebrating their 62nd wedding anniversary today.
Happy 59th wedding anniversary to Pearl and Jim Blackwood of Glovertown, originally from Greens Pond.
And family and friends would like to wish Wilbur and Betty Moss in Gander a happy 63rd wedding anniversary.
Happy belated birthday to Elsie Green of Gander. She turned 97 on February 20th. Hope you had a wonderful birthday.
And happy birthday to Victor Baker of Lewisport, who'll get this, celebrate 102 years of age this Sunday. Congratulations.
Happy 65th wedding anniversary today to Ben and Mary Rousel from Corner Brook.
And a happy 50th anniversary to Florence and Nelson Piercy from Gander, with love from your friends and family.
Happy 94th birthday to John Rideout of CBS, now living in St. John's.
Birthday greetings as well to Wilfred Maloney in Grand Falls, Windsor, who turned 94 this past Wednesday.
Mary Genge Bowers of Corner Brook, formerly of Anchor Point and Pasadena, is celebrating her 93rd birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy 57th anniversary for Mark and Irene Goodyear of Lumsden. They celebrate tomorrow.
Happy birthday to Catherine Paul of Come By Chance. She celebrated her 90th birthday on February 25th.
And a happy 62nd anniversary to Fred and Audrey Hatcher of Rose Blanche. They celebrate on March 4th.
Happy 69th wedding anniversary to Don and Louise Sweetapple of Glovertown South. They celebrated yesterday.
And a happy 60th anniversary to George and Betty Piercy from Grand Falls, Windsor. They will celebrate on March the 6th.
Okay, yes, just enough time to look at our viewer picture of the day.
Okay.
Let's have a look at this. Isn't this gorgeous?
What an angle.
Yeah, this was taken in, well, just
Up
offshore
there. Wow.
by
Twilling
Twilling Gate. And yeah, Danny O'Brien actually got off his boat to take this picture. So,
Brave, courageous photographer. Thank you, Danny. Hope you made it back. And we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, good night, everyone.